A couple of months ago, I legitimately had no idea who Falling in Reverse were. I would often have probably branded myself actually as a Falling in Reverse hater. I sort of was vaguely aware that Ronnie Radke was potentially a bit of an unsavory character. He'd been to prison. I was aware he formed this band in prison for, you know, a not particularly great crime, all that kind of stuff. So I just sort of stayed away from it. I kind of lumped them in mentally with a bunch of other more emo-y, sort of like new metal-y stuff that I wasn't too into, like Black Veil Brides and Human Six and that kind of stuff. It just wasn't my thing. I was ignorant, should we say. I got like a minor bit of exposure when I found out that Ronnie is going up with Soraya or Paige the wrestler, and I'm a bit of a wrestling fan, so, you know, her intro, her wrestling walkout music became a song by Falling in Reverse, so I kind of got that in my head a little bit. And then, whilst I was scrolling through YouTube, just trying to find a video to do a reaction to, I saw the thumbnail for Ronnie, and I guess it just grabbed me. It just looked interesting, and I heard the name, and I thought, screw it, let's give it a go. And whilst that song is, like, not really my cup of tea, it's a bit too heavy for me. Like, I can deal with Screamo, but, like, that song is like, Screamo. I was so blown away by the music video. It's just so crazy. Like, the thing is, like, hugely high budget, very high concept, well executed. There's CGI. Tech 9 is, like, running around doing crazy rap verses, which is actually my highlight of that song. So, it kind of put me in a position where I was significantly more inclined to give them time of day. And then one of my friends, Callum, who is a big Falling in Reverse fan, when All My Life came out, said, hey, you should probably listen to this. I think it'd be make an interesting reaction video. So I said, screw it, I'll give it another go. That video is done so poorly. It's my lowest tracking video by far. I don't know why, but no one was interested in my reaction to All My Life, which is funny because I became obsessed with that song. All My Life is such a banger. From the video, the song, the chorus is so catchy. Jelly Rolls, this weird new entity that appears to be everywhere at the moment, but his verses are really good, their harmonies are nice. That song is awesome. It's a really, really well-crafted, well-made song. And after that, I was sort of like, you know, listening to it as kind of like a guilty pleasure, I guess one could say. And then recently, they released the music video for their last track on this one, Prequel, so I jumped straight on that one, having seen the last two. And again, that video is so insane. The budget is mental. I have seen multiple films whose budgets must have been smaller than that. To have that kind of concept is one idea, but to be able to execute that with the level of CGI and the costumes and the lighting and the budget and all of that kind of stuff is crazy. Plus, the song is also really good. It's a very good example of building up, and the sort of like nuances. It's very grand in its scale, and I like that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I thought maybe I'd just like give the entire album a go and see whether or not I'm like teetering on the edge of becoming a Falling in Reverse fan here. Here we are. I thought, let's listen to Popular Monster. It's only come out recently, so let's do this entire album. I'm not going to do the 3 tracks I've already done reaction videos to. If you want to go and check out those videos, I'll link them in the description, so save a little bit of time on this one. But yeah, screw it. Let's jump in and listen to Popular Monster, track number 2.
I wake up every morning with my head up in a daze. I'm not sure if I should say this.
Okay, so it's gonna be like another more rappy one. Okay, they're doing that kind of like slow build up thing again with the synth line in the background. I like it. Yeah, even again, straight away, he's talking like quite self-deprecatingly in a way that I find, I don't know, it's good. I like the flow of that bit. I'm a liar, I'm a cheater, I'm a non-believer. That's cool. Also, I've got to acknowledge again, I think I said it on the second video, but it's such a weird choice for me that I believe the picture on the right there is his mugshot from when he was arrested the second time. It's an interesting choice, and again, you can argue that it's actually like a very large amount of self-awareness to do that, or is he laughing at it? It's hard to tell, but the lyrics make me think actually maybe more column A. Chorus is maybe a little bit generic, but it's got good flow. The harmonies are nice, and I like the up and down building up. Similar to Prequel in that sense, actually. Those synths in the background kind of building it up are quite effective. Okay, now he's already got all the way. Like, he does this quite well. He like builds up the escalation in his voice. It sort of starts very low key. Like, he's not even really rapping. He's like talking. And then by this point, you don't even really notice because the music is also perfectly in sync with it. The build up to the point where I'm like, wait, is he shouting? I didn't even notice that start. It's pretty good. Now I'm about to get this massive drop again. There it is. Oh no. Oh yeah, full on screamo now. See, I wouldn't want to hear a whole song of this, but sprinkled out and weaved into the rest of the song. Sign me up. I'm a liar, I'm a cheater. See, I've already figured out how this song goes. It's kind of catchy, you can't argue that. It kind of reminds me of Skillet, which is probably a really bad take. That's quite an impressive little falsetto we got there. I would love to hear him do this live, because like he transitions between various vocal stages like very quickly. Like, he went from like high tier chest voice to very soft falsetto for like 2 bars, and then straight into like a hardcore scream. If he can do that all like properly and live, then fair enough, hands up, that's impressive. Alright, yeah, this song's getting super heavy now. I love how he's like proper come out for religion and stuff as well. Like the whole scene where he's getting crucified in Prequel is like ballsy is what I would have said. Yeah, I think the chorus is a little bit generic. It's quite catchy, but I feel like I've heard other songs that sound like this, you know? I like that one less than I liked the two of the other. I think I probably like that one more than Ronald, but again, it's just because Ronald's too heavy for me. The sort of sprinkling in of the like super heavy screamo stuff works really well on this one. It's like not that much, but it feels like it's really earned, and that's what I often feel about like. It's the same with something like Slipknot. Like they've got melodic choruses and like more growly, screamy verses, and I just when you have that nuance, the ebb and flow, I really like it. It's when bands are just for like 4 solid minutes. I can't hack that. But no, okay. I quite like that one. We're going to skip the next 2 just because I've already got full videos on those. If you do want to check those out, look on my channel. I'll link them somewhere. Maybe there's a little box above me. I don't know. But yeah, have a look at my reaction for All My Life and Ronald. So let's move on to the next track on here, which is Voices in My Head. He's a weird tone of voice here. I don't know why he sounds like this. They're really well produced, these songs. Like, the production is so tight. He uses a lot of biblical references, which I kind of find interesting. I like that as well. It's similar to the All My Life, the whoa bit. Like they just jump into this like really almost Queen-esque, like sort of like falsetto harmony. I like it. It really adds an interesting like dynamic when it suddenly starts getting a bit heavier when you get those heavy guitars kicking in. You've got to give him credit, man. He is really singing from the heart if this is all genuine, which it feels like it is. Man, those layered vocal harmonies are so good. What if someone could tell me in the comments whether or not that is all him doing the vocals, or whether or not they've got other members of the band that are able to, like, they sub in and do the other vocal parts. His voice sounds a bit like he sounds like the guy from Fall Out Boy in this. This whole song is a little bit Fall Out Boy, actually. Just not the verses, but the rappy bit. But I like this one more than Pop With The Monster, I think. The chorus is more interesting. This is an interesting little change. I like the complete breakout. There we go. Oh, okay, it's completely taken a second turn. It's like fully turned into like a different song. Okay, and now what is going on? These songs are so like dramatic and layered, like in stages. That's some clean ass heavy shit. And then they're going to have that like overlapping vocal thing again, which I know they're doing All My Life. And again, is just a general technique I really like when it's employed well. I use it quite a lot. Well, okay, I like that one more than Popular Monster, I think. That song was actually really good. It was almost felt like a freaking like overture for a musical or something. Like the way that it changed like so dramatically. Like that song went from being like, I don't know, borderline poppy. You could see some like influences maybe like Muse and a few other like some Queen, and it just like fully took a right turn and turned into like a heavy rap song for like 20 seconds, and then it took another one and went completely like super heavy, like go motherfucker go type shit. It's really interesting the way that it's all written and done like that. Like I will admit, it takes a clever mind to be able to like put that stuff together, and you know, just to conceive of that is difficult. Moving on to the next track, which is Bad Guy. Let's have a listen to Bad Guy. Ooh. Wonder why it's called Bad Guy. I don't like this tone of voice he's doing. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Here's the question though, is this now going to turn into like a full-on heavy metal song by the end of it, or is it like just this? It's a bit shorter than the other ones too. Okay, here we go. I think the like plinky synth thing in the background is one of the less inspired ones. Yeah, this chorus is like a little bit generic as well, if you ask me. It's fine, like I get it. Also, actually, I think the lyrics are less nuanced than some of these ones. Yeah, I think these verses are like less interesting as well. I mean, maybe by the time we get to the end, they'll do some more with it, but like, I get that they're doing the sparse thing, but it's not working for me. I mean, they definitely have still got that like kind of slightly pop, like catchy appeal to them, but I don't know, it feels like a little bit similar to some of the other ones I've heard already. Quite like that guitar line whatever's coming through the background there. See, I feel like this song hasn't earned to like a breakdown yet, because this is the same texture. In fact, it's actually slightly richer texture than just the average verse. I don't know. Oh fuck, this is Soraya. Ah, how did I not notice that? No, I need to listen to that again. I didn't notice Soraya sang. I don't know, there's enough effects on there that you actually kind of can't hear her. Like, you could definitely not tell that was her without me knowing. The English accent came through a little bit. Nice little cameo, though. Well, that was an interesting twist. I was about to write that song off completely, but I did kind of like Soraya's cameo on that. It's interesting. What happens if I click on her Spotify page? No, yeah, 0 monthly listeners, no profile picture. It's just like her. She's also got a very, very brief cameo in the music video for All My Life. I kind of like that. It's interesting. I think the song was the weakest one I've heard so far. Like, it's just the most generic. The chorus doesn't really vary. It's literally just like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, I think. It was more or less it. It's kind of short. I don't know. That one did the least for me of all of these. I just popped a little bit because Soraya, which is kind of cool. But yes, let's move on to the next track, which is Watch the World Burn. I wonder what this one's going to be about. Is it about him being a messed up dude? Okay, this whole album is significantly more like rap heavy than I was expecting. See, even this, I think the beat is more interesting than what was going for the previous song. Okay. Oh, he's got a flow. Ooh, okay. No. This is how you do this kind of shit right compared to the last one. The layer backing vocals, the ha 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 ha. That's kind of cool. He's going in with this rap more than I thought he was going to. To be fair, I feel like he can't really complain about having people that don't like him in the industry based on like the fact they've got like 8 million monthly listeners and more music video budget than most bands have in their entire career. Gotta love a gun sound effect. Man, this is like super wordy as well. Ooh. This is dope. Oh, this is like completely took a right turn. They got those Queen style vocals again, and now it's going to like a full on like. Reminds me of like A Day to Remember or something. Those backing vocals are so effective. Ooh, string line. Gotta love a falling guitar line like that. So I love it when they write stuff on this scale. That's what attracted me to Prequel. Like it's so much going on. It really does feel like film music. There it is. The drops are like quite like predictable, but they're quite effective because when they go in, they go in. These guitars are hard. The lead guitar lines, but they're not doing a whole lot. Like, they don't come through much, but they're really like epic when they're in. Man, how do humans produce noises that sound like that? It's so crazy. That was a fucking roller coaster, that one, really, wasn't it? It like went from like sort of like I was almost about to criticize it for being like another kind of slower, more like rappy song again, but then like he suddenly went in, and the like epic nature of the bam 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 bam, and you got the like kind of choral backing vocals singing out pretty much the entire way through, and like his flow when he goes in is impressive. Like you gotta give Ronnie credit. He is a vocally diverse singer. He can do more or less everything, and then you suddenly get those like super tight fucking harmony slam in there too. That was great. That was a bit of a journey. I enjoyed that one a lot. Right, okay, moving on to Trigger Warning. I'm a bit of a sucker for someone in the comments, please tell me what that's called as a drum beat, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not unique to the genre, but I always like songs that have that kind of drum pattern. See, here's what I was worried about. I don't want this to be like super red pilled. You gotta love those little vocal bits, the falsetto stuff. What is with his vocal tone? It's so weird. Like, he doesn't talk like that or sing like that, but goes blah 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 blah. Like he puts on like a weird accent sometimes. That was quite clever. Okay, no, I don't think this is Red Bull. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't think it is. Yeah, his vocals sometimes really do remind me of Fall Out Boy. Actually, I think they're better. Ooh! Piano solo! Ooh, I did not sign up for this. Oh, and a brass line. What the fuck is going on? This album is full of goddamn surprises. Again, I'm just impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I am just impressed. His vocal delivery was strange, but actually extremely charismatic. You just suddenly got this like absolute banger of a piano solo and like a brass section for what, like 20 seconds? I'm assuming that they're gonna come back at some other point in the album. Otherwise, those freaking second session musicians got flown out to a studio to record for like a very small amount of time, which is sort of a flex in itself, actually, if that's the case. But no, goddamn, I was not expecting that. The lyrics like concerned me a little bit to start with. I thought it was maybe going to get a bit red pill on it, but I actually think maybe not. My takeaway from that, based on it now, is actually it's more cynical about the sort of, you know, the great nation of America and all of that. So, no, okay, cool. Moving on to the next track, which is called Zombiefied. And this is the one I have actually heard before, because this is the one that Soraya comes out to. So I saw this live, like, quite recently. I've only heard it like once or twice properly, though, and it is a good song, from what I can remember. Yeah. It's a good riff. It's a really good riff. Actually, Actually, whoever thought to use this as her like wrestling intros? And again, you got that like streamline. I think it's probably a synth. Like the backing vocals again. It's a good tune. Ah, the little pauses. They're so inspired. Yeah, I seem to remember thinking that the chorus was a little bit generic. Now this reminds me a bit of like, I don't know, Avenged Sevenfold or something. Yeah, I really like the chorus is fine. It's not the worst case of like being a bit generic on this album. This riff is really good, and with like playing off the synth line in the background is like really nice. They use those like over like harmony lines sparingly enough that they don't overstay their welcome. That's quite a good lyric actually. The puppet just replies like it's formaldehyde is a good line. Drummer, do your thing. You got 20 seconds. Go. Okay, then we're gonna get proper like this is like the mosh pit stuff. I would love to be in a crowd for this song. All right, I'm taking it back. The chorus is like pretty catchy actually. God damn it.
Zombiefied.
That Zombiefied there sounded like a reference to Rob Zombie actually. Funnily enough. God damn, like he just never misses an opportunity. There's never like a gap where there could be a fill that isn't filled. They're like. Like, oh, wait a second, we've done 10 seconds of the same thing. Slap on a harmony, give us a piano, drop it out. It's really, really well written. I can't argue with that. It's really, really good. Pretty much every track has got a, like, that's the first time I've heard them do this, and maybe it's the only time. We've only got 2 more tracks left. I'm wondering if that piano is ever going to come back. I'm thinking maybe not now. Anyway, let's move on to No Fear. Like that string line in the background. I wonder if that's a synth or an actual like string section. My guess is probably a synth. Yeah, I like it less when they do that like sort of proper like hip hop beat thing underneath it. Like I like it when he raps over what is more traditionally rocky metally. But as soon as I couldn't even tell you what it's called, but there's that effect they're doing on the drum that immediately puts my back up. That. I think this one's a bit messy. Like again, I like the choral vocals in the background, but yeah, this chorus like doesn't feel epic enough to like suit the build up. If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, it feels almost like the chorus is a pre-chorus and it requires like another escalation again. We might still have that, but there it is. Now the song just turns into a different song. What the fuck was that? That was such a weird transition. Oh, I see, it's a lyrical reference. Okay, that was quite a nice build-up there. Why is he talking like that? Like, genuinely, what is the effect he's going for? Sorry. I'm so nonplussed by this ending. This is definitely my least favorite track on the album. Like, I don't know, it didn't really go anywhere. Like, I mean, you had that one random, like, fucking 2 bars of, like, really heavy guitar, which I'm now figuring out was, like, a reference to the lyrics. But, like, I don't know. It was too rappy for me is probably the case, and actually I'm sure if you're like more into your rap, maybe that one did something for it. I felt the chorus was a bit anticlimactic, it didn't really go anywhere. That one was not my favourite. So let's jump on to the last track, which is Last Resort Reimagined. Cut my life into pieces. This is interesting. It's a cover of Papa Roach. I mean, I find it annoying that they called it Last Resort Reimagined. I'm like, just call it a cover. It is what it is. I guess you're trying to make it sound more epic than it is. But everyone else just calls it the name and acknowledges it's a cover. I get it, he's got a pretty voice. I guess this is him just like proving again that he can still really sing, because he can. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence. Yeah, this feels a little bit masturbatory, maybe. It's an interesting song choice, I guess, to do this with, but I get it. He's like going in vocally. I get it. But he doesn't need to prove to me he can sing. I know he can. I guess it's kind of a suitably epic way to end the album, but yeah, I don't know. Those last 2 tracks didn't really land with me too much. I mean, obviously, like, that's a cover, but I don't know. It was fine. I feel like it ended on a little bit of a damp squib. Like, I get it because he didn't do, like, loads and loads of singing for, well, actually quite a lot of this album. So I guess he was trying to, like, hey, guys, just so you know, I can do, like, super passionate, super deep singing stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think that was a bit masturbatory. It didn't really do much for me. But as an album, I am super fucking impressed by this entire thing, to be honest. There's only like a couple of tracks on here that I didn't like that much. And it wasn't even like I hated those tracks. They just weren't up to the standard of the other ones. Prequel is a great song. All My Life is still my favorite on here, I think. I liked Voices in My Head. I liked Bad Guy, mostly because I popped for Soraya. Watch the World Burn was really good. Trigger Warning was quite good. Zombified was great. Like, I did like it. Like, the nuance in the songwriting is very impressive. Like, if that all genuinely more or less came from him and he did most of the writing for it, then you gotta give the guy credit. He is a extremely talented musician, because there's some like really, really interesting blends of genre. Each song, or not each song, but most of the songs really like skipped around. Some of them were like more like overtures or like songs from musical theatre, but with like really heavy stuff. Like the thematic stuff was very impressive. So much layering when it comes to like trumpets and pianos and synth lines just across the board. That was all really well put together. It never quite crossed the line of feeling overproduced, which is good, because that stuff can. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it did in this particular case, which is also really good. Vocally, again, he's an extremely talented singer, rapper, screamer. Like, you can see he just runs the gamut of like more or less every vocal. I was about to say he didn't do country, but he freaking did, because All My Life is borderline a country song. And with the rapping, like, I was expecting him to be more like, you know, I'm a rock musician, I'm a screamo artist who can sort of do rap. But then he like went fucking in on a couple of those tracks. The flow was impressive, man. Like, not everyone can just do that. Like, it takes a while and practice and talent to get to that point. So, got to give him credit on that perspective. I don't know. It was a really interesting album, and actually, the diversity just in between the songs is quite impressive. Like, it goes from basically just full on like almost hip hop songs to like very heavy like screamo metal to like borderline country, and kind of like runs the gamut in between. It's hats off, man. Honestly, hats off. I was expecting after the last couple of tracks to maybe come off on this one thinking it was quite good, but I'm still actually more impressed even than I set the bar to be. And I'm impressed at the level of introspection on the lyrics as well. Most of those lyrics, I think, were actually quite, not humble isn't quite the right word, but he was very open about identifying issues he's had and he has, and like not trying to apologize for them, just explaining that he's a bit of a messed up guy and sort of inferring some stuff. And I don't know enough about the dude's upbringing to have any strong opinion about why he is the way he is. He seems like he's calmed down in terms of, like, you know, being a criminal and stuff. So that's good. But I was impressed at the level of introspection on that. I was just impressed across the board. That's not where I thought I was going to end up being a couple of months ago when I very first heard Ronald. I was not expecting to come out of this going, I think I might need to save like several tracks off this album, and I think it might be one of the better albums that's been released this year. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this album are. What's your favourite track? I can't say that All My Life is not my favourite track. It absolutely is. That song is not only my favourite track on this album, it's probably my favourite song of this year. But it's a bit more my style. It's a bit more in my sphere. But I'd like to know what you guys' favourite track is. Do you like the rappier stuff? Do you like the heavier stuff? Or are you like me and do you like the one with the country twang? But yes, thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Got a big announcement coming up soon. A new musical project, collaboration, music video, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned. We'll get some more information out on that one soon. Have a wonderful day and peace.